And we're live. Roll up, everybody. Come join. Wama went to Mo. Gather a little bit of a musical interlude by way of introduction.
Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. Love is all you want. Missing someone. Love is hard. How much you miss it. And you miss it. And you miss it. And you miss it. And you did it right from the start. And you did it right from the start.
Okay, so there we are. Come join, gather, Wama went to Mo. So where are you people? Introduce yourself as you're coming in. Did you like the little bit of a musical introduction? DJ Coas, that was missing someone. I'm not quite sure what I speak to, but there we are. Wama went to Mo. Say hello as you're coming in, and click here to come join live on screen. So you click here and then you come join live on screen. You know the routine, you know how we do it, you know when we do it, and you know where we do it. When I went to Mo, can't stop, won't stop until they stop, and they haven't stopped, so we are not gonna stop. Hello Onyeka, hello Adele. So like Onyeka and Adele, say hello as you're coming in. Introduce yourself. If you want to come join me live on screen, then just click on the hyperlink. One man went to Mo. So matters arising or matters Nigeria related, nothing changes. Nigeria on the verge of collapse, 2023 election threatened. So that is Femi Falana sounding that, not Femi Falana, but rather Femi Falana sounding that note of alarm. So we go to that. Constitution review will not solve Nigeria's problem. That is a stand taken by Afenifere. So we go to that. We might well stop at the narrative or with the narrative of Remi Tinubu dishing out slaps to some church woman. So we might well discuss that. We will certainly discuss the newly appointed Chief of Army Staff. No surprises and no prizes for guessing where he's from. Hausa Fulani, of course. Major General Yahaya is now the name that we're contending with. Hopefully no helicopter mishap this time around. So we go back also to the never-ending narrative of the money grab that is Abubakar Malami, Attorney General of the Federation. Every time we mention this guy's money, this guy's name rather, millions and millions of dollars are being discussed as missing. So in this instance, 370 million Abacha loot. So how AGF Malami covered up 370 million Abacha loot repatriated through UK attorney. So we go to that as well. So the rate at which this guy is looting is almost unprecedented, even in a place like Nigeria. And then we go to reactions to the appointed, to the newly appointed, what is it called, Chief of Army Staff Farouk. So we take reactions, including Nnamdi Kanu's reaction to that as well. So plenty to discuss. So take a seat, take a pew, chill out, and just converge, gather, and let's get straight into the narrative. So we kick off first, actually. We could kick off with anyone, but we are going to kick off with the senior advocate of Nigeria. So Nigeria on the verge of collapse, 2023 election threatened. Femi Falana sounding this note of caution. So now let's now see what's led the SAN to saying this. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana on Thursday said Nigeria is on the verge of collapse as the 2023 election is threatened in view of series of attacks on INEC offices. So he is going via the INEC office attacks rather to raise this alarm. Falana spoke at the final sitting of the Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution, Southwest Lagos Ogun Oyo Zonal Public Hearing, Lagos Center, held in Ikeja under the chairmanship of Senator Oluremi Tinubu, representing Lagos Central. So incidents happened, of course, at that event, which we might well visit in the course of this narration. I would not be able to show you a clip of that incident, which I do have for reasons of YouTube, because YouTube frowns at the amount of violence that was displayed by the potential future First Lady of the country. So we might well visit that narrative, but that was the event at which Femi Falana raised this note of alarm. So Falana spoke at the final sitting of the Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution, Southwest, Lagos Ogun Oyo Zonal Public Hearing, Lagos Center, held in Ikeja, under the chairmanship of Senator Oluremi Tinubu, representing Lagos Central. According to Falana, Nigeria is ruled by a rule of rulers, not rule of law, lamenting that people commit all manner of crime and get away with it because there is no sanction. There must be change. The Social Security Bill must also work so that jobless people can get stipends pending when they will get full employment. What can we do very quickly to save this country, which is on the verge of collapse? If you don't want people to break away from Nigeria, we must give them confidence and a sense of belonging. Don't declare a war, he said. Falana said for the constitutional amendments to be fruitful, for Nigeria to have genuine outputs from this meeting, peace must reign. He stated that Nigeria's problems must be addressed frontally, as well as give the people the confidence of peace and inclusion if the government must kill the cry of secession. In fact, in some parts of the country, the 2023 election is threatened. INEC offices are being burnt, police stations are being burnt. In that kind of environment, we cannot pretend that there is political stability in our country. Essentially, I am making a case for the poor, the masses of our people who are generally not represented in forums of this nature, which are most times for the elites and privileged amongst our people. The right lawyer explained that Charter 2 of the Constitution guaranteed the right to education, health, living minimum wage, good adequate housing, unemployment benefits, amongst others, but that members of the ruling class conspired and agreed, regardless of political affiliation, that these provisions shall not be enforceable or made justifiable. So he goes on to flesh out all manners of things, but the point we wanted to land on is the caution that is sounding that Nigeria is on the verge of collapse. So Nigeria on the verge of collapse. So as you know, there's a constitutional review of the constitution going on at the moment. But of course, the Fulanis have their own plan, and that Fulani plan rather takes another positioning with this new headline. Buhari appoints Major General Yahaya as new chief of staff. So the clamor and the outcry and the public chanting that for once this guy should come to the southeast or at least the southern region to make this appointment have fallen on deaf ears yet again. Yahaya, the name we're contending with, Farouk Yahaya. Again, the headline, Buhari appoints Major General Yahaya as new chief of staff. So now let's now meet now the new Fulani Chief of Staff. President Muhammadu Buhari has appointed a new Chief of Army Staff following the death of Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru. Nigeria's new Chief of Army Staff is Major General Farouk Yahaya, a former general officer commanding 1 Division, 1st Division of the Nigerian Army, and the incumbent theater commander of the counter-terrorism, counter-insurgency military outfit in the Northeast, code-named Operation Hardin Kai. Ibrahim Atahiru died in an air crash on Friday alongside 10 other senior military officers. A statement signed by Brigadier General Oyema Nwachukwu, Acting Director, Defense Information, Defense Headquarters, said the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has appointed Major General Farouk Yahaya as the new Chief of Army Staff. Prior to his appointment, Major General Yahaya was the General Officer commanding 1st Division of the Nigerian Army and the incumbent theater commander of the counter-terrorism, counter-insurgency military outfit in the Northeast, codenames Operation Hardin Kai. So Operation Hardin Kai is the new name now of the new Chief of Army Staff. So nothing changes, and nothing changes really after all of the palavers and all of the hoo-has. But nothing changes, especially in the corruption stakes. As guys, I bring you this, revealed how Attorney General Malami covered up $370 million Abacha loot repatriated through UK Attorney General. So anytime we're mentioning this guy, of course, we're always talking in the realms of this figure. $44 million missing, $260 million missing, $370 million missing, $170 billion missing, naira missing. And when you start to put together the weight of all of these missing monies, we're talking in the realms of really 30, 40 billion dollars that these guys are looting just every single day. And just like no more than 20 of them looting this 20, 30 billion dollars. And at the front end, of course, is the Attorney General of the Federation. That's again revealed how Attorney General Malami covered up $370 million Abacha loot repatriated through UK Attorney General. So now let's find out what latest installment we have in the never-ending Malami looting saga. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami SAN has refused to come out clean on a certain $370 million being part of the loot traced to former head of state Sani Abacha in the United Kingdom, which was returned to Nigeria around December 2018. Correspondents obtained official correspondence between the defunct Special Presidential Investigation Panel headed by Okoye Obono Obla and the United Kingdom in December 2018, confirming that the money was repatriated to the country. Correspondents gathered that Malami, however, at a stage asked Obono Obla to hands off the repatriation process, and it remained so until the panel was later dissolved by the presidency. Then the SPIP chairman, Obono Obla, had in December 2018 written to the Central Bank of Nigeria requesting a domiciliary account to be opened for the recovery, requesting a domiciliary account to be opened for the recovery for the $370 million from the state of Jersey in the United Kingdom. The correspondence was addressed to the Central Bank of Nigeria Director, Banking and Payment Systems Department on December the 18th, 2018. It was titled, Request for Permission to Open a Domiciliary Account for Recovery of $370 million from the Office of the Attorney General of the States of Jersey, United Kingdom, for onward remittance to the Treasury Single Account TSA of our panel. The correspondence was also copied to the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, and a copy, of course, of that correspondence is part of this article that I'm reading to you, and I shall put the hyperlink in the comment section in the course of this session. The SPIP chairman wrote, as directed by your letter dated September 25, 2017, on procedure for enforcement of GIFMIS revenue number, we write to request your written approval to open a domiciliary account with a Nigerian deposit money bank, which has a branch in the United Kingdom, which will then remit to the TSA with the CBN. The purpose is to assist our panel recover the sum of $370 million from the Office of the Attorney General of the State of Jersey, United Kingdom. This is part of the Abacha loot. Correspondence learned from competent sources that the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, intervened in the process and asked the SPIP then to hands off the $370 million. I was privy to the initial efforts to recover this sum by Obono Obla, but Malami wrote and asked Obono Obla to hands off. The source revealed. Correspondence obtained another correspondence which was written to SPIP chairman Obono Obla, then to the Attorney General, then to the UK Attorney General, Honorable Robert McRae from the state of Jersey, introducing one Dr. Tonye Jaja as the officer to handle the process of repatriation from before the AGF later stepped in. It was tight, so this was the process then of recovery. So this was the point of intervention. The money had been established as being in Jersey. The Jersey government has agreed to give back the money to Nigeria, $370 million. And of course, the administrative process of that remittance is now what we're seeing being discussed. At the lead of that process was a chap called Obono Obla, who had managed that repatriation to the point of monies now hitting accounts. So at that point of monies hitting accounts is where this narration comes in. Correspondence obtained another correspondence which was written by SPIP chairman Obono Obla, then to the UK Attorney General Honorable Robert McRae from the state of Jersey, introducing one Dr. Tonye Jaja as the officer to handle the process of repatriation before the AGF later stepped in. It was, and by the way, all these things are, all the letters are attached to this piece. It was titled Introduction of Dr. Tonye Clinton Jaja and Recovery of $370 million to the federal government of Nigeria. It was dated the 18th of December, 2018. Obono Obla had written, permit me to introduce Dr. Tonye Clinton Jaja. He is a lawyer who has recently been appointed as the UK desk officer for international recovery of assets for one of the anti-corruption agencies of the federal government of Nigeria, and then this is in parentheses, the Special Presidential Investigation Panel. This agency was established by an act of the National Assembly of Nigeria, namely the Recovery of Public Property Special Provision Act 1984. A letter of his appointment will be presented upon request. As chairman of our agency, I have directed that to Dr. Jaja hand deliver a letter to your office in Jersey. Please kindly confirm by way of a formal letter of invitation a date when it will be convenient for him. Can you also confirm from the Nigerian High Commission in the United Kingdom or from the UK High Commission in Abuja, Nigeria? Please, I kindly request your kind assistance and cooperation since Dr. Jaja is newly appointed to his field and his job description would require your kind assistance and cooperation in tracing and identifying assets and funds looted or stolen by Nigerian public officials and their proxies. During his visit, he would like to discuss the modalities for repatriation of the 300 million that is in the custody of the state of Jersey, as reported. Thank you in advance for your prompt and positive response. So these are just back and forth letters, of course, that is trying to pull that money back. But then, of course, Malami steps in and the money disappears. During his visit, he would like to discuss. Okay, yes, we've done that bit. The House of Representatives had earlier on Tuesday been reported as saying it uncovered the illegal payment of 2 billion made by the Central Bank of Nigeria to the AGF Malami for the persecution of our terrorism suspects. At its sitting on Tuesday, the House ad hoc committee probing the status of the recovered loot had queried Malami on the funds which they said they never approved as a budgetary allocation. The lawmakers had also tackled the Minister of Justice for allegedly requesting payment of approved solicitors' fees for recovered loot. So it goes on. I think we've done this narration yesterday. So the never-ending story of Malami looting. So that one will never end. Tomorrow again, we'll probably come up with another 500 million that this guy has purloined. So we go on to reactions to the Farouk Yahaya appointment as the new chief of army staff within the Nigerian state. That is how they roll. This is the simple comment coming from the eastern quarters. Our guy from Umar here, Nnamdi Kanu, is the one chiming in. That is how they roll. Nnamdi Kanu reacts to Farouk Yahaya's appointment. So now let's now see what the Alpha One of the Igbo people has to say regarding this appointment. Taken to his Twitter page, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu says that the appointment of Major General Farouk Yahaya isn't a big shock to him because that is how President Buhari rolls. He loves electing or giving positions to his fellow Northerners and Fulanis. He also dragged the Southerners who keep hoping for one Nigeria. He wrote, "This is how they roll. Quite frankly, they don't give a damn. Every security position must be occupied by a Fulani or a Fulani. All you sophisticated morons, grammarians, and multi-purpose efulefus from the south yapping about one Nigeria, your shame is shaming me." So your shame is shaming Nnamdi Kanu. That is what he has to say. So Baba Akure, is your shame shaming Nnamdi Kanu, or are you? So where do you weigh in this matter? Well, Farouk Yahaya to replace Ibrahim Atahiru. So what has changed really is the question.
Well, plenty things to talk about today. Anyway, as I see the headline, actually, we discussed about. You asked me this question last. I think it was Monday. You asked me this question, and I said it is not new. Is he going to? He is going to nominate somebody from Fulani. So,
but just I know you have a lot to say, but just consider: is it not a shame though that this guy is this way? If he's appointing only from Fulani, and the Fulanis are not noted for intellectualism of any manner of competence, what he's doing essentially is just to narrow the entire country into the lowest denominator, because the Fulanis are the lowest denominators, and try to pick out of them who is best. There are not that many good ones amongst them, and he has already used 2 or 3. So he's now scraping the bottom of the barrel of the Fulanis, when all of the best officers in the entire African continent are within the Nigerian army, but they just happen to be Southerners. This is why I'm asking, is this guy really a patriot? Is he really a Nigerian?
The issue is that the person you're talking about doesn't care about all you guys crying. He cares because he is protecting himself. He is protecting himself not to be overthrown. The earlier we get this point, the better. he already said that he doesn't trust anybody except from those people from the north. So he is protecting himself. Remember, last two weeks or 3 weeks, the so-called presidency, let me put it that way, came out and they said, oh, some people are planning to overthrow the government and all kind of rubbish. So he is protecting himself. He's not protecting Nigeria. He doesn't care about anybody. If that million is dying every day, he doesn't care. He cares about this power not to be taken away from him. So that is why he is protecting himself. He's not protecting the interests of Nigeria. And nothing is going to change. I'm very sorry to say this. So let's go to issue of constitution. We've been talking about this before, and we still be talking about it today. It is just like when you see your house is maybe some of the base of your house already broke, and the house is about to fall down, and you still trying to use stick to push it up. I don't know if you saw the picture of justice in Abuja where they use stick to hang it so that it won't fall down. Just like that is Nigeria. This constitution, it will not work. And I don't know if you listen to one of House of Representative interview today on Arise channel. His name is Solomon Bob.
No, I did not see it.
Okay, if you want the link, I can send it. I can post it.
Yeah, post the link.
Okay, he specifically said that they are just using this to buy time. It will not work. He himself, he confessed. In fact, I give him kudos. And I said to myself, and I hope they don't kill this man in the next 2 days. Because he spoke what is in his mind. He spoke everything that we need to know about this. He said they are just using it to buy time. They all know that it will not work. Now,
well, if you look at the timing when they are doing constitutional amendments with 2 years left in a tenure, that's not a bit of, it's just nonsense, isn't it? Just noise to keep you quiet, to put your attention somewhere else.
Exactly. So I just posted the link, right? The interview with the man. So they are just using it to buy time. He even said in his statement that there are some politicians that they don't want this thing to work out. Even the so-called election, the election reform they be talking about since all this while, that the British said, oh, they have to make sure that they pass this law, they have to do this, knowing fully well that this thing is not going to work. And British still supporting that okay, they have to make sure that they pass the law. Which law? Which the constitution did not even allow them to do. The fake constitution that we have. The fake constitution that we have. This man talked at length. He said,
but the constitution is going under amendment, is it not?
What do you say?
I said the constitution is going under amendment, is it not?
Yeah, it's going under amendment. Who are those amending it? Those who came to the power through that fraudulent constitution. As if you listen to this interview of this man, he mentioned some I don't know, maybe it is verses, the sections in the constitution that did not give them power, that they are just trying to fake people. They are just trying to make something that they are doing something. Because okay, now I'm going to ask you a question. Maybe no, it's general question. I'm going to ask the general question. What is the credential of those people that are nominated to come to the review room? What are the criteria they used to select?
They are representatives of the people, I'm assuming, senators, etc.
Representatives of who?
Elected public officials.
Exactly. Do they know what is going on in the streets of Akure? Do they know what is going on in the streets of Samfara? Do they know what is going on?
But to be honest, what they are doing is a sensitization program which is going on around the world. There's one that is happening that just happened in Ikeja, where Remi Tinubu was telling it when she was dishing out slaps to show them what is to come in 2023. You know,
that is exactly what I'm saying. What are the criteria? Politician pick up some people on the street or their party member, and they want to review constitution. The same fake constitution. You bring fake people again to review the same constitution. How is that going to work? You see those people who are saying that there will be no election in 2023. Do you think they lie?
But how would you like to see the constitution amended? Because I mean, you and people like Ovie, you come here and you tell us that it is the constitution. It is the constitution. Okay. So now the constitution is being amended, and you're still not satisfied. So what will satisfy you?
You know for yourself that this is a fake gathering.
One more, please. Let me find a way to get my volume out. I will be back online, please.
Oh, okay. Take your time. Yeah.
Even you yourself, you know that this is a fake gathering. That this will not work. Remember, I think you see the video that is going around now, where Tinubu call somebody thug.
No, I'm going to play it in a moment. I've got it.
Because somebody want to express our own mind. So you can see the level of what is going on, that the gathering is just fake. So they want to hear from those that they really want to hear from, not those people that are really suffering.
Sorry, that was no. I was just loading up that Remi video. But carry on, yeah.
So can you use that one to justify what is it? I mean, can't you use that to justify of the end of the whole exercise? Then you look at that video that I posted. Then you can corroborate it with that of Tinubu's wife. Then you will see that they are just faking us. They just want to use that to buy time to suppress everybody. If you listen to what Afenifere, because they had meeting, I think it was yesterday.
Yes, I heard him. Yeah, I saw the headline that it was saying they are building on a fake foundation or something.
Exactly. I can post that to you as well. Then you can see, you combine all these together, and you will really see what is going on. He said that to you, all of you here, you can't even go to
Are you reading? Sorry, Baba Akure, are you reading into what Afenifere is saying? A sort of declaration for Oduduwa.
One man. I'm not going to go to that. I know for myself. The way the man said that I said, okay, we are getting there.
No, because that is almost that's an Oduduwa language, isn't it? It cannot come out publicly and say it. But is that not a signal of support to the cause?
That is total signal telling you. Because he did mention that, okay, now all of you now stay in your comfort zone here. You as a speaker, you cannot tell me, we have been lying to ourselves. That was what the man said. He said we have been lying to ourselves for several times, but it is time to tell ourselves the truth. Can any of you go to your constituency and stay in that place for 1 week without having problem? He said none of you can do that. It is we the king and Bale stay in the community that we know what is going on there. None of you, all of you stay in Abuja here, and you stay in a nice building with AC, and you think that is how the life is. He said the young people between the age of 18 and 40 years, they are very angry.
Baba, do you think any of these people actually have a real understanding of what is going on in Nigeria? Hold on, I'm asking you this question because I'm sure you would have seen that video of El Rufai that was going around when somebody came to open the door for somebody that went to open the door for him. Did you see that video?
No, I didn't see that video.
Yeah, I will show you. I will show it in a minute. His motorcade came in, and then somebody ran to go and open the door of the guy in the front seat, and then that guy in the front seat got out and gave the guy that ran up to him his phone, and then he went and opened the door for El Rufai, So there's a door opener for the door opener of El-Rufai. This is the strangest thing on this planet.
Yeah,
so and then that is how far. So try and align that with your mama that is selling gari on the roadside, or your guy that is doing organizer. The disparity. Do you think there's any way that somebody like that can have any real understanding of your Yaonigari or organizer person? Do they know what is going on in that country? Is the question.
To be honest with you, some of them know exactly what is going on. We should not lie about that.
How would they know? How would they know what is going on?
Let me land. Do you think I'm in my comfort zone here too? I can decide not to care about anybody back in Nigeria. We all grew in that system. The same Rufai you're talking about is not today that he assumed governorship. He was in his local village before, and he knew how people are suffering and knew what people are going through. But once they get to that power, everything changed completely. They will be behaving like evil. They never even touch poo-poo on the street before. That is how Nigeria behave. So it's not that they really it's not that they disconnected from what is going on. It's just that they don't care. Once they assume that position, they don't care. That is not their business.
Baba, I'm not sure if I entirely agree, and I'll tell you why. If you're using this El-Rufai example, it was a high-functioning person in his state before Obasanjo took him into Abuja. Then he was the minister for Abuja. It was the whatever it is, the mayor or whatever they have for Abuja throughout the tenure of Obasanjo. He went from there into the state house in Kaduna State, and he ran the elections for Buhari. So we're seeing over the last 30 years of this 60-year-old man, over nearly 30 years, he has just lived like a king of the expense of Nigeria. I think people like this are just too removed from the reality of people. They know that they're suffering in the land because people tell them that they're suffering in the land. But this guy flies around in a private jet, he sleeps in the best hotels, he has the best of everything, and he has, so that's just how I see it. Anyway.
That is how you see it, but I'm telling you now, it is not that they don't know what is going on. It is just that they just disconnected themselves. I see a local government, and my local government, you get what I'm saying now. So what do you want to say about local government chairman? Who was corn farmer? Those who plant hectares of land for corn. Before he assumed the position of a local government chairman. Now he is not even living in his local area anymore. He will go to the capital city and go and live. So that is what I'm telling you. See, when they get to that position, that is it. They disconnected themselves totally, and they will be behaving like they never even suffered before. They never even know anything that they won't believe. What is a suffering? They will disconnect. They will totally disconnect themselves from that reality. That is what is going on. That is what is going on. So now for the issue of this constitution, we can now see the reason why people say there will be no election in 2023, because they know that these people are just so fraud. They are so fake. They are not interested in masses at all. They are not interested. And the issue of Malami, I'm going to talk about that briefly before you bring somebody. That is the issue. Yesterday we were also talking about it, that a lot of things will be going on. And I can tell you now, as we are talking now again, some people are siphoning money again.
Well, it's just the amount of money, We're talking $370 million. Yesterday, we were talking $260 million. Over the course of this week alone, we've spoken about $2 billion. And here we are all over the world borrowing $1 billion.
The issue is that these people don't care. They want you see, we now that we are like me, I totally support Yoruba nation, let everybody go on their separate way. I can say it anywhere because I see Nigeria not to be working. This money is too. These people want to run the country at ground.
They want to, or they have already.
But they want to finish everything. You know, it is still working. You see, like it's like just like a vehicle that maybe the brake. You know, when your brake is it starts slacking, so you know when you get to free, you will be pumping it. That is the situation Nigeria is right now. So it is not grounded. Finally, it is getting to that. The brake pad is just like 10% left. So when the brake pad finish now, right? It is just free. You know, you don't have any brake anymore. That is what is going on. The issue of money that they recover from the stolen money from
Abacha loot.
The Ibori, you know, we spoke about the Ibori yesterday.
Oh yeah, no, they said they gave it to Delta State. Delta State
said they never received the money. So you see what he's talking about. So this money is not going anywhere. Before we know what's happening, the money just disappeared just like that. Because now they be pushing it back and forth now. This one said they send it. This one said I never receive it. This one said they send it. This one said they never receive it.
They will even go and arrest some poor clerk that it was some clerk.
Exactly. That did something wrong with the money. So this is what we are going through. So we will see. But that constitution, to me, that constitution, as a matter of fact, is not.
We will go to that constitution in a moment because I have a narrative. I have an Afenifere response to that constitution. But before we go to the constitution, let's hear from Eagle. Eagle, we see you. Eagle. Okay, I don't think we have Eagle. Let's hear from Evolution. Evolution, we see you.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good evening. I'm good.
Good evening.
I'm good, and you?
Hello.
No, Eagle, just hold on. We have Evolution. So Evolution, carry on.
All right.
Yeah. Where should I even begin?
Start with yeah, go on.
No, the issue of Malami and his wanton looting of anything that gets on his table. Malami is just continuing the process and the actions taken by his predecessors. Remember, we had an attorney general in Nigeria.
Can the country continue to carry the weight of this? We cannot carry the weight of this level of looting anymore. It is unbearable. It is unbearable.
Obviously. But I mean, as we are fixated on Malami. Hello?
Yeah. No, you're back. We lost you for a moment. Yeah,
I said as we are fixated on Malami, we can equally shine the lights on some other leaders that even control more money. Again, I'm talking about our state governors. I'm talking about our internally generated monies. I'm talking about the bonds, the billions of bonds that these our governors come to raise. Look, we need to, obviously, by the time we go back to the 63 Constitution, which is definitely what is going to happen, there is no way out. They can amend the Constitution, however they can. It is a step. But
sorry, I missed what you said. What Constitution did you just say?
We are going to go back to the 1963 Republican Constitution of the people, whereby the regions had all the powers, whereby the Southwest was the most progressive zone because they had more money. That was how Awolowo was able to provide free education. That was how he was able to build the Cocoa House, to build the first radio kini in West Africa. Ibadan. These things were done with Cocoa money. Do you understand? So, and we can still get back on track and go back to minding our business in our region. But now, if we have an Oduduwa nation, it is still the same emperor of the Southwest that will continue to call the shots. The Oduduwa nation is not going to import politicians from the moon. If Nnamdi Kanu achieves Biafra, it is still the same set of imbeciles that will still going to call the shots.
What then is your recommendation? Because you are saying a plague on everybody's houses, but surely there must be somebody.
For starters, we will go back to the 1963 Constitution. But beyond that, the process of electioneering, the process of governance needs to fundamentally change. Our political party system, the actor, as long as the emperor will sit down in Babylon and draw up a list, and everybody will fall in line, we will continue to deceive ourselves. We would never make it. We would never move forward. And the people should stop accepting that. The people should speak up. People should interrogate. In the last election, when Ambode wanted to fight, it was sad that instead of Yorubas to actually give him a voice and support, they abandoned him.
No, they did not abandon him. If Ambode had gone to PDP, he would have won that election. But they put pressure on him that, look, for reasons of political expediency, you are still a young man, step back and then come forward in the future. You already have a good track record, you know. And Buhari was so aggrieved that by the way that Ambode was treated, that he wanted to give him a very good ministerial position, but Tinubu again stepped in and said, look, if you give this guy a ministerial position, we will fall out. So Ambode is still in, oh God, we lost him. Why is everybody dropping like flies today?
I really want to ask him a question.
He fell off. He will come back. But before he comes back, and Ego has fallen off as well. So whilst everybody is reconnecting, let me quickly give you then the Afenifere response to the ongoing constitutional review. Constitutional review will not solve Nigeria's problem. Afenifere speaks, the Yoruba Socio-Cultural Group. So the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Association, Afenifere, has stated that the move to review the constitution by the Senate will not solve the myriad of challenges confronting Nigeria. The group, which stated this on Thursday, emphasized that the constitution review was an exercise in futility. According to the General Secretary of the group, Shola Obi Seni, during an interview, Afenifere decided not to submit memorandum at the public hearing because the session of the two arms of the National Assembly since 2007 had embarked on the same jamboree of constitutional amendment, spending public funds on public hearing without any results. He added that Afenifere believed in the restructuring of the country and true federalism, as he emphasized that the National Assembly must also be discussed in the process of restructuring. He added, we cannot claim to be in a democracy and be governed by a constitution that does not emanate from the people. Amendment will not cure the anomalies. You cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. The General Secretary of the group maintained that the exercise called for questions following the General Secretary of the group maintained that the exercise called for the questioning following the condemnation of the declarations of the Southern governor in support of restructuring by both the Senate President and Speaker of the House of Representatives. So what he's saying essentially in that paragraph, is that this, and in the entirety of the piece, is that the entire exercise of constitutional amendment is just an exercise in futility because already what is central to that constitutional amendment is the language of restructuring, which the Senate president had already condemned categorically. And if the Senate president is already categorically against the concept of restructuring, any amendment to that constitution is just using painting over the cracks. Essentially, is what they're doing as an exercise. An exercise in futility is what the Afenifere says as a response to the constitutional amendment. But Ola, what is your assessment? Ola, we see you.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. Are you?
I'm well. An exercise in futility, this jamboree, they called it a jamboree as well.
Yeah, we've gone through this cycle over and over. And we start wondering, why is it when the incumbent is about to finish his term? Because 2 years is not as long as you think of. Obasanjo did the same thing. Jonathan did the same thing. Why is it that when they have like 2 years left, they always remember how to, amend the constitution? So whatever these guys are doing to start with, they are just doing that to favor themselves, not for the Nigerians. I can even go ridiculous and say maybe they need some money to spend and they have to find some way to just allocate some funds to say,
no, it's money for the it's money for the boys, isn't it? All these retired XYZ that are sitting at home is money for the boys. They release a budget, make them chairman of certain town hall, whatever, and gather people to come and make noise and collect 10 million naira allowance a day, and it's just money for the boys.
Exactly. So now that's a part. Even when we look at it, when many legal practitioners keep saying the 1999 constitution itself is fraudulent, how do you want to build on something that is fraudulent already? So a fraud will always be a fraud. So it doesn't make sense even to amend what is supposed not to be.
You know what we say in Yoruba land? Olegbe, olegbale.
Exactly.
It's an olegbale process, isn't it?
Exactly. So if you are really truly sincere about this, maybe in the worst scenario case, maybe I don't know about 1979 because I was not that old to know even if that of them.
I thought you were about to lie and say you were not yet born because you sound like you were overcoming.
No, I was actually in primary school, so I couldn't say much.
Yeah.
So then we have the one of 1963 that is that we can see online, that we can see the content, that we can see that it represents the true federalism in the country. So if you want to be federal, let's be federal. Because there was a time I was telling a guy, some friends of mine, that even the Chinese unitary constitution is more federal than Nigerian federal system, the supposed federal system of Nigeria. Because how can someone sit in Abuja and be controlling all the resources? You want to allocate oil in the south to yourself. Whereas at the same time you want to be stealing gold in Zamfara. Okay, you want to have police Ishba in the northern part, but you don't want this the south to have the state police. So now,
just whilst you're sorry, Ola, just to evolve the conversation, just whilst you're still in that space, Farouk Yahaya replaces Ibrahim Atahiru. So everything changes but remains the same. Fulani go, Fulani come. Nandi Kanu response. You heard this response. I think I've already given you that. But what are you making of it?
No, Buhari is simply telling every other people that I don't care about you. I don't care about you. Now, I'm still trying to find the speech he made in London while he was campaigning. I think he said something like, let me show you that you have a country you can be proud of. And now, every time I think of that statement, as okay, Was this guy actually telling his clans that, okay,
I think something changed with Buhari in his first year, because when he first came in, he said, "I am for everybody and from nobody." He was speaking all of this language of being above the tribal and ethnic coloration of the country. But that didn't even last for like a month or two. I was for everybody but nobody. That people should actually bring that thing back and let him come and repeat it again. But I carry on, Ola.
But the leopard will never change his game. You know, this is Buhari that has been like this since 1983, since December 31st, 1983. So there's nothing has changed. Okay, now, because the first question, if someone is saying that, okay, Buhari is not tribalistic, for example, I first of all ask, what did he do wrong? What did the Ekweme, the vice president there, what did he do wrong? That, okay, that one was to be put in a jail, while Shagari, that was even like currently like about Buhari himself, will just be under house arrest, placed in the house arrest. So now, the way I see this man, many even those people that are in the academics that are even professors, they've said about Buhari the type of person he is. If a Fulani man could say Buhari is nepotistic in nature, that nepotism is the mother of all corruption. I forgot. I think Professor Junaid mentioned something like that. So now. It is in the south. It is with the southerner that we busy ourselves using our own tools.
Sorry. Let me just remove this. Sorry, I'm going to play that after you. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I would like to hear that. Yeah. So now, when we look at everything, Buhari is not doing more than what he did in the past. So he's still doing the same thing. You see,
what I'm suggesting is that this nepotism that he's practicing, and we all see that he's practicing, he essentially makes him unpatriotic, because it is not serving best the Nigerian state and doing the best he can to propel the country forward. Because, of course, out of all of the myriad of talents that the country has to offer, he just discounts them to go to the lowest denominator that the space has to offer. So is he a patriot, would you say? This
Buhari has never been a patriot. Like, I have my own opinion about Buhari. Buhari is, by all indices, Buhari is a criminal. So I maybe because I'm from Ekiti, maybe that's why I'm just too blunt about this. Ask me today, how do I see Buhari? Buhari is a criminal. There's nothing patriotic about Buhari. Okay, how could someone leave his countrymen in a position, in a very critical position, and you went ahead and support someone in the Niger Republic? Was he in the Niger Republic or Chad when he was supposed to support the Nigerian? So Buhari has never been a patriot. It's only that it's only because the political class, they use the advantage of the decline in the standard of education to just to manipulate people, to manipulate the ignorant one to support Buhari. So everything credited to Buhari. One thing I said during that campaign was that Buhari, for example, never for once said that anything wrong with my microphone. I can hear myself. Can you hear me?
No, we can hear you.
So just a minute, please. I don't know what's wrong with my microphone.
But we can hear you. So if you can hear us, then everything is fine.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, whilst Ola is waiting to sort out the gremlins, Evolution, I'm going to play you this.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Okay, Evolution, I'm going to play you this little clip, and then off the back of this clip, I want you then to justify how Buhari is replacing Atahiru, who died, with Farouk. So this is what Buhari said in his first incarnation when he was taking the oath of office in 2015.
I salute their resolve in waiting long hours in rain and hot sunshine to register and cast their votes, and stay all night if necessary to protect and ensure their votes count and were counted. I thank those who tirelessly carried the campaign on the social media. At the same time, I thank our other countrymen and women who did not vote for us, but contributed to make our democratic culture truly competitive, strong, and definitive. I thank you all. Having just a few minutes ago sworn by the Holy Book, I intend to keep my oath and serve as president to all Nigerians. I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
Lies.
So there you heard him. So off the back of that, you heard it from the man's. You heard it from the man's mount himself. Evolution. So he belongs to everybody, and he belongs to nobody. So is everybody now the adjective for the Fulani person? Is that the encompassing of everybody? Because that is the only way. He said this for by the Holy Book, and he said, thank you everybody that voted and did not vote for me. I belong to everybody but nobody. But Ibrahim Atahiru replaced Burutai, and Ibrahim Atahiru is now being replaced by Farouk Yahaya. So where is Okechukwu in the equation? Where is Adebayo in the equation? And how does it belong to everybody and nobody? Explain this, Evolution.
Ignoramus, after he won the election, visited US and they interviewed him. That was his first international outing. And he clearly said it there, that the people that gave him 5% versus the people that gave him 97%, that he is going to treat them based on the votes that he received, that the 5%, which is the Southeast, who is not going to get anything. And Ignoramus, like I pointed out yesterday, has been consistent. When he was the petroleum minister, he built the pipeline from the Niger Delta to Kaduna. He built the refinery in Kaduna. When he was head of the state after Q, he appointed his Fulani clans. When he was made the head of the PTF, he spent all the money in the north. He has been consistent. I don't know why we in the South cannot read simple things. This man has been consistent. He came to Ibadan in 2003 and told the Yorubas, your FIFO are killing my FIFO. This is someone that was called in to mediate as an elder, and he came to Ibadan and told the Yoruba. So he has been consistent. How people are now surprised by his appointment. They weak me. Really, they weak me.
Okay, let him back you up, because the man can speak for himself. So let him back you up in what you have just said.
Last two questions, and briefly, Dr. Pauline Baker.
Mr. President, welcome. And I've been a student of Nigeria for many years. And first of all, I want to tell you that I have never seen such a hopeful attitude toward Nigeria and the United States as since your election. So I think we all here want you to succeed. My question relates to another area of Nigeria that hasn't gotten much attention during this trip, and that is the Niger Delta. It's a challenge that you're going to face. I wonder if you would tell us how you intend to approach it, with particular reference to the amnesty, bunkering, and inclusive development. Thank you.
Inclusive government. Inclusive government. How you include, women, youth.
Yes. I hope you have a copy of the election results. naturally constituencies, for example, that gave me 97%, cannot, in all honesty, be treated on some issues with constituencies that gave me 5%.
So
I'm not a talker, please, I beg your pardon.
You heard it, there you heard it, evolution. So just to give you the timeline, the first one you heard when he was saying it was for everybody and nobody, that was in February 2015 when he was taking the oath of office. The American interview that you just heard now that is saying the political reality is the people who gave him 97% should have a greater expectation than the people who gave him 3 to 5%. So within the space of 5 months, his narrative changed, but the latter narrative is what we're seeing manifesting. Burutai replaced by Atahiru, replaced by Yahaya. Evolution.
Yeah, exactly. The man is consistent. Give that to him. It is we in the South that we always make mistakes in politics. Now, you know, ignoramus is in the past. For all intents and purposes, that man is completely irrelevant in the scheme of things now. We are talking about the next election cycle. And I want us to focus on it because the South is about to make the same mistakes again. The same mistakes that keeps on repeating itself. Everybody knows that in 1999, the presidency was zoned to the Southwest. It is common knowledge. After Obasanjo's 8 years, it was zoned to the North. There was interruption, and of course, Jonathan did his own 5 years and all that. The North took it back, and they've done their 8 years. Now it is the turn of the Southeast. What? Look, what is?
But do you think that will ever happen? The Southeast will never be president of that country ever.
Oh, hold on. I would prefer a restructured Nigeria than a Nigeria where the president is from the Southeast. But however, you have to live your political reality. And the political reality is that we don't have that yet. We are still running this presidency, and it is the turn of the Southeast. And
you know why I said, hold on. Let me just qualify what I just said. You know why I said the Southeast would never be president of Nigeria ever? I did a video once that was an analysis of the Nigerian political landscape. And the Southeast, their strength within the Nigerian space is no more than 15 to 20%. That is across the legislation, that is across the local government, that is across the number of states that they have, and that is across what has been registered as their population. So they have no permutation to come into effect unless they form an alliance, which is something that they don't have a history of. So that is why they would never. I said they would never be president, but carry on evolution.
I agree. We would. You are right in some things that you said, but it is a different conversation that we will have later. Right now, I am talking about the perception that the people have. They may not have all the numbers that you've pointed out, but for you to be president, you have to win a certain number of states, and you have to get a certain percentage of the votes, even in the areas that you lost. So either way, they are still part of Nigeria, and they still have their own little numbers in election. At least you have to win. What will happen is this: if they zone this to the Southwest, the Southeast and the South would not vote Tinubu. They would rather vote a Northerner or vote for themselves. And if the Northerners should field a candidate, they will they would win. So It is time for the South to work together. We must work together. I keep on stressing that if we don't work together, the people that we are supposedly fighting against, which is the North and the Fulanese, but I believe that the people that we are fighting against are the elites. It is not an ethnic group.
I have two questions for Evolution before I forgot.
Yeah, go on. Yeah,
go
sorry.
on.
Yeah, he had been waiting for you to come back.
Okay, the first question I have for him is that he did mention that about the constitution, that we have to go back to that the best constitution that we can use right now to solve the problem is the constitution for 1963. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my question to you is that, do you think that these people that we have here, these criminals that we have here as our national, as our representative, don't you think that they know that that's the best thing for us to do? Then they are perambulating, reviewing the fake constitution because it is benefiting them. Do you think they are going to go back there? They will not, because they see this constitution that they are benefiting from this. They don't want to change it. That is why they are patching it. This is the 5th time they be patching the same 1999 constitution. What do you say to that?
One is this. I support the constitutional amendment process going on now.
Okay.
For the simple reason that ignoramus is not going to adopt the 1963 constitution. This is a man that fought the Biafra war. Do you understand? They believe so much. He's not going to consider it. And again, he has said it. That's the thing. We don't follow what these people say. We keep on giving it another interpretation. We keep on calling it Fulanization, Islamization. But it is not it. They are telling you that they will favor their elites, the elites of it is the Fulani elites that is enjoying. It is the average Fulani that is moving a herd of cattle on foot over 2,000 kilometers. Is not finding life funny. It is the elite. Malami that you're talking about is a Fulani elite. El Rufai is the elite. It is the elite. In Igbo State, in Anambra State, it is the elite. You keep on hearing the same names. After 1,000, Ezenubu. In the Southwest, your Tinubu, your this, your that, you have powerful people everywhere, and they keep on recycling themselves. I think we should focus on that. So we should support this constitution, because if we amend it to some certain extent, the next president is going to kick off with the full amendment and discardment. But it is not going to happen under this man.
So now, which government are you referring to? The one that is going to come in 2023?
Exactly.
Because I still have a question for you, right? Yes. You did mention that if southern part of Nigeria, if they align together, do you think they are going to defeat northern?
Yes.
Bear in mind, right. just a moment, please. Bear in mind that today, North and South Kaduna already agreed to form their own state, which I'm 120% sure that they will grant that state before the election. What do you say to that? Because because now if they have that southern Kaduna state, then they will be 20. They will be 20, right? Why we will be 16 or 17? So what do you say to that?
I will answer you. See. I'm trying to compose my thoughts.
I have something to say about that too.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, go on. Address Baba Akure's question. Then we hear from Ola. I think he's back.
Yeah, Baba Akure was asking of how they are going to
it's saying once they have split the Kaduna State thing into two, which is convinced that will happen before the end of the election, then that will give them the weight even more. So how does that impact on the southern region?
And he was asking if the South come together and all that, how are they going to defeat the North? And I'm trying to explain another thing that we keep on telling ourselves that is not true. This myth of 19 northern states, it is a myth. It does not exist. If the South stands together and build an alliance with the Middle Belt, the Benue man does not consider himself a northerner. The Plateau man does not consider himself a northerner. Then even if you get to Taraba, the tribes there in Taraba and Yola, they don't consider themselves Hausas. You will find the same thing. Some parts of Kogi, they don't consider themselves Hausas, so they don't necessarily, and they have never voted as one. Look at every presidential election. So if the South should stick together, these people will join because they are suffering the same thing. They are going through the same thing. The same alleged, the same Fulani terrorist headsmen. They are even suffering more. So why wouldn't they join you? Why do you think that they are so unreasonable that they will always vote with the North and the Fulanis?
Because that is what they have traditionally done. That is why
that is what I am telling you, that the previous election results does not support your narrative.
Why does it not?
If you look at the results of the 2015 election, PDP won a lot of states in the north, in the so-called 19 northern Benin, won decisively. PDP won both Taraba, Benue. PDP won. So it doesn't follow. They don't vote the way we have always assumed that they do.
Okay, let me just, whilst we're still on that space of that constitutional amendment, let me just bring you a narrative of what happened in the town hall meeting that took place in Lagos, and then we'll come and take Ola and Igor's opinions as well. Drama as Senator Remi Tinubu assaults woman in Lagos. So we've all seen the clip, and this is the build-up to it. Former Lagos State First Lady and lawmaker representing Lagos Central in the Senate, Remi Tinubu, was on Wednesday caught on camera clashing with some people during the Southwest Zonal public hearing of the Constitution Review. Correspondents gathered that the review, which was held at Marriott Hotel in Lagos, had residents queuing to register before they were allowed to enter into the hall. However, some of those in the queue were later informed that registration had closed for the day. But a few minutes later, some lawmakers from Oyo State passed the queue and were about to be ushered in, leading to a commotion at the front entrance. As the shouts continued near the front, with those in the queue insisting that they had been unfairly treated, the Oyo lawmakers were about to be hurriedly ushered through the back door, but the people followed them, preventing them from being allowed into the hall. However, after some consultations with personnel at the door, Senator Tinubu showed up at the back door to allow the lawmakers in. As she was about to do this, a woman who complained about being denied entry decried the partial treatment and voiced out her frustration. Seeing this, the senator, who is an ordained pastor of Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, beckoned her on and two others, only to call the lady a thug for speaking too loud. Angry with the former First Lady's comments, those in the queues insisted that such a derogatory word shouldn't come from the senator. The senator was asked to apologize, but she refused. "I will not apologize for what I said. I saw it and I said it," she maintained. This online newspaper reports that this is not the first time the lawmaker will be involved in controversy since becoming a senator in 2011. Senator Tinubu had in the past clashed with Senator Smart Adeyemo, Senator Elisa Abo, Senator Dino Melaye, and many others. She had also attracted controversy during the 2015 general election when she claimed the Igbos in Lagos cannot be trusted. So here is her now in the throes of activity, our future First Lady. So this is what you come to expect. So on and on it goes. So where tier politics? We're going back to where tier politics. Ola, what are you making of your future First Lady? Calling people a thug as she throws the first punch and kicks somebody, Ifase and Igbati, calling people a thug. Ola?
It's not going to become my official First Lady.
Yeah,
so I don't just want to ask. I know by the special grace of God, she's not going to be my official. So I don't even want to think of it at all. She is not going to become my future First Lady. Because these guys, every day, they embarrass us with the way they behave. Whatever this lady, whatever the Remiti Nobu display there, just show what exactly, although I will say the aggression of average Nigerian, right? But when we get to the level of the political class, they are supposed to be elites, right? They are supposed to know something better. So I wouldn't expect someone of that kind of public recognition.
But is this not something we are sorry? Is this not something that we're seeing increasingly? We saw Senator Elisa Abo in a sex shop slapping up the personnel in that shop. We saw that. We saw this chairman of some panel in a car park slapping up the attendants. We saw that. We saw this Brackett family, the man there, slapping not one woman, but another man in another video clip. We saw that. So is this power-drunk thing that we're seeing in the Nigerian space? We are raining slaps on somebody as you continue to call them a thug. Who is displaying the thug behavior? Ola, educate us.
See, the way I see this thing is, I see there's a way I qualify our political class sometimes. I see them as people of low esteem, irrespective of the level they are. I will give an example. If Dangote is here, for example, now, if Dangote start announcing, I'm Dangote, then there's something wrong. Because naturally, if Dangote is here, everybody will know that this is Dangote. So what I'm saying is that respect is commanded, not demanded. So like all these, our political days, they keep asking, they keep demanding respect. If you do the right thing, for example, now, Awolowo is dead, Nnamdi Azikiwe is dead, we still reference them anytime we talk. That's how to command respect. So I don't even want to think of Remiti Nobu, I don't just want to, when his husband is the commander-in-chief of Agbero in Lagos, what do you expect? So Remiti Nobu she's second in command. So you expect...
Is he not the Yaoloja of Lagos State? So market square behavior.
Exactly. So I don't expect much from them, because for example, now if Okonjo-Iweala, Soludo, or this man here that's heading One Africa Bank behave that way, I'd be worried. But for Remiti Nobu, and maybe even his husband and any other politician like that, I won't be worried, because to me, I expect that to be by the standard nation. That's who they are. So it's a sad event. Now, this is where this type of constitution will wrong lead us to. Because when we still keep talking about, because I've seen so many people that fought against constitutional amendment, it's the same politician. Yes, it's the same politician, but it's going to be different processes. There will be different processes. Because I will give for example, let me just give I've cited example of Adekunle Ajasin and Bros Ali and all those reputable politicians in the past. Now, if we take away this quota system, constitution, we will set ourselves to be more competitive. For example, now, so many people in the power corridor today, if we have the right constitution, they might not even be there. And I will give an example. We have a constitution in Nigeria, for example. Where I live, for example, it is the duty of the city to build the airport. It is the duty of the province to have policy on education.
Are you in Canada? Are you in Canada?
Exactly. Now, when you now see
know how I know?
Because I mentioned province.
Yes, they are the ones that say province. Yeah. Carry on.
So when you see that, those are the things, what cities and province, let's say state now, what state and city are supposed to be doing is what the federal government is doing today. For example, my city, for example, now generates electricity and distribute on commercial basis. Now, when Tinubu wanted to do the same thing under Obasanjo, when Obasanjo was the president, the first thing they quickly quoted was that you can only generate, but you cannot distribute. Now, how can I invite an investor to come and develop my electricity when you know that when the likes of Virgin Richard Branson, Virgin Nigeria came, and the federal government was just holding 49%. See what they did. So you don't expect me now, for example, to come under this constitution and come and invest and partner with the government of Nigeria under this type of arrangement. So now, if we restructure and we allow all these states or all the regions to just determine how they want to survive, so it simply means that electricity will be the matter for Oduduwa or Biafra. Road construction, education, like Awolowo used to do that time with a UPE, you understand, will be what the thing we run. Not a federal government loading somewhere. I want to control everything.
Okay, so, just so let's not to in just the minutiae of detail, but to the Afenifere space, where they are saying this whole constitutional review is just an exercise in futility. What do you say to that? But before you say to that, let me just acknowledge this chap. Adekonye Michael, who has donated. I don't know what that CA is. Maybe it's Canada money, but it's
Canadian dollar.
Oh, okay, so that's 13. That's essentially 14 Canadian dollars super stick, and this is all Alexander Gomez is doing because he has been doing that. So it looks as though Adekonye has decided to chime in. So thank you, Adekonye. But to that space, this constitutional review is just being battered away because, of course, the narrative of Afenifere is Oduduwa nation. So are they just trying to put a spanner in the works of this constitutional review? Because if it succeeds, of course, that is the end of that Oduduwa nation narrative.
Constitutional amendments, those are just drama. They are just acting. These guys, they have nothing to do. They are only buying time. Now, this is May. By the time they finish consultation, we are approaching December already. So by the time they start the review, the review process, already we are headed for the next election. So this guy, they have nothing to do. Now, you see this same Buhari, that the first day when they told him about what Jonathan did in 2014, he said, "I put it in the archive." Now, someone asked him, "Are you not going to what?" He told them that what is wrong with the current constitution. Now, that's the point. Then, when we look at the fact that the APC ruled on their fraudulent manifesto, restructuring, and all these constitutional amendments were there. So why haven't they done anything about it? Okay, the same government, you asked Buhari to look into Jonathan conference and made recommendation. The recommendation has been made. All those recommendations have been made. They've not done anything. So why can't these people sit down and look at all those past documents and work on that instead of dramatizing around, pretending to care for the country, whereas they have their underlying interest that they want to protect? So for one day, I've never now even if you successfully review the constitution, anybody can still take whatever process they go through and take that thing to court and still won, because one, that constitution itself was a decree. Whatever we use today was decreed was a decree promulgated by this guy Malami. So now, the democratic principle is that the people will have to agree together. So if they successfully amend this constitution, the problem will never go as long as some people still wake up tomorrow and realize that this was not the wish of the people. Some people imposed on us. Now, it's just like someone built a foundation, a faulty foundation, and we start patching. Maybe something they were supposed to dig, maybe 100 feet to do some piling, and someone just did there like a 20, and we cannot crash this building. Let us keep patching. It's not, one day it's going to collapse. So the best thing to do is, it's not so difficult if they are serious to go back to 1963 constitution. That is faster. People should bring that 1963 constitution. What is
the content of that 1963 constitution that people are so enamored by it? What is so special about that 1963 constitution?
Okay, one thing that is so special there, for example, is the way the federal government now hijack some content and put that in the exclusive list. Now, in the exclusive list, that the concurrent list now is now fraudulently worded in such a way that if the state have interest in doing something, once the federal government is interested, they suppress the state, right? Now, I made one example here, last week, for example, look at the Land Use Act now, for example. Land Use Act, if not because of the fact that state is that is within the jurisdiction of the state. Look, federal government was trying to hijack Land Use Act.
Okay, all right. Let's not get too heavily into those. Let's take opinions from Evolution next. I think Evolution was in the middle of some. Sorry, actually, Evolution. Let's take Ego because we've not heard Ego. Ego, do we have you now? Ego? I think Ego is having some problems with the system today. Ego, do we have you, Ego? As soon as I go to somebody else now, you will speak. Evolution, do we have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so carry on. Yeah. Just to that Tinubu space.
About the 63. Yeah, okay.
On which of the ground do you want me to speak on, please?
No, hold on. Evolution.
The issue or what?
Yeah, no.
I am here. You can't hear me.
No, we can hear you now.
Me? I'm having problem. You can't hear me.
We can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. If you can hear me,
I have a problem with my network. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you have me. I don't know if you can. You hear me?
No, I can hear you. So if you can hear me, so just speak to what you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Just.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Ego, I can hear you. So, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
So just speak to the space because you have poor network. So let's just hear from you so that at least we would have heard from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Go on. Yeah.
Okay, let me go. You want me to speak on the narrative of what?
Speak to the Tinubu narrative. How beating up people at the constitutional review. Or the Afenifere saying the constitutional review is a joke.
First, I thank you for the privilege, for the opportunity, all that. So, which of you want me to talk on the appointment of this man right now, or
Yes, talk about that. What we were saying is that Burutai was replaced by Atahiru, and Atahiru is replaced by Yahaya. So where is Okechukwu and Adebayo in all of this Nigerian narrative? Where is the Yoruba and Igbo name in Nigeria when all the appointments are Mukhtar?
That is the reason. That is the reason you are seeing the cry for the divide across the country. We must understand that Buhari, if you look Buhari very well in one way, he looks like a foreigner. He doesn't look like a real a patriot, and I believe he's the patriot. But he doesn't look like one. He looks like a foreigner. That being said, you know, the other time, there was one guy that challenged the South. His name is Shetima. Who is that Shetima? Shetima, right? In one Shetima, he was saying that the South should stop clamoring or stop pushing an agenda of bringing the chief of staff from the South, Shetima. And then I asked myself a question then. I said, who is this Shetima that is talking from one place? Can't somebody tell him and challenge him at the same time if he's a politician, or if he's if an ordinary citizen, we can also challenge him from this platform? How can he question the reason or question why South will push for his commander? Is it not the right of the South to do that? These things should go by merit. So what I'm trying to say is, these people you need to give it to them head to head. They should be standing up for them. The South should be standing up for the North. This must be our advice. If you wait Buhari to come and take any of their matters serious, we are just doing ourselves. For Buhari, and this is pure. Listen to the issue of this constitution that is going for amendment. The amendment, yes.
No, I was just going to say, from the issue
of this constitution. Talk, Ken, talk first. Talk.
No, I was just going to say, from the entire body language of the Buhari administration, because we played a clip of him in July 2015 when he first came in.
I saw it.
And he was saying then that you cannot expect the people who voted 80-90% for me to be treated with the same as the people who voted 10% for me.
5%.
Yes, and that is how he has governed that space. That is how he has ruled that space in favor of his people.
That is how he has been ruling.
Yes, the body language of the Buhari administration has been essentially to consider the southern regions as a colony of the North. So essentially, he has ruled that space, the entire country, as essentially the South being conquered people. So I did ask the question once that are we conquered people, and everybody got upset. But again, Burutai is replaced by Atahiru, who is replaced by Yahaya, and the name Okechukwu or the name Adewale was never in consideration. No single person in the entirety of that country ever gave any serious thought to the possibility that the new chief of army staff will be some guy from Enugu or some guy from Ekiti. We knew for certain that it was going to be a Hausa Fulani, and it was indeed a Hausa Fulani. So if a Yoruba man or an Igbo man can never aspire to join the army with the view of working hard to become the chief of army staff for reasons of northern politics, then what is the purpose and who are we within that space? Are we essentially not a conquered people? Because I do not see how we are not ego.
You are very, very correct in your narrative, in your expression right now, because it's time for us to agree on this issue of being conquered, because that is the reality on ground now, if we are looking at it very well. But though many will not agree, but if you look at the polity, the way it's being played, you will understand that we are more or less like a conquered people. You understand what we need now are men like the Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. We need governors like the Makere Dulu. You see the reason I defended James Ibori the other time when we were talking of James Ibori. James Ibori is one governor like he's worse than, he's more ruthless than Wike. He challenged Obasanjo to the fullest in the name of his state. So that is one credit you see. That is why you see him have the love of many of his people, not because of really anything or sentiment. Now, where am I going? We need people like Akere Dolu for leadership position in the southern region of this country. People like Akere Dolu are people that we need in the southern region of this country. And this issue of which they are saying that constitution, whatever, certain part to deceive themselves or this whoever, the Niger, that is this, the Asaba Accord made it very clear that this president should this constitution, and it should also come to the public space and reveal the federal character in his administration and how he wumble or shuffle or direct his appointment. All these are part of the demand read during the Asaba Accord that was endorsed also by many. Now, if at this juncture they are forming a committee that they want to make blah, 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 blah with regard to amendments, see, Nigerian people are demanding for a federal, a people's constitution binded by federal system of government. This is what the Nigerian people are crying for. So that thing of amendment and committee, I call it fake. If they want to take the 2014 confer by Goodluck Jonathan, let them start from there and get things done for us. Or let them bring us a new constitution from the grassroots of this country, from the desert of Sambisa Forest to the creek of the Niger Delta.
Let me read
the voices of those that are suffering.
Let me read you this article from the Nigerian
that
space.
are losing their resources and dying in sickness and poverty because of the irrelevant and the wickedness of government and governance in the Nigerian space today. Hello?
No, hold on, Igor. Just finish your thing and then I'll let you go.
If we continue to tolerate these things, it is not going to go well for us. See, we need governors.
All right, thank you, Igor.
We need governors like Akere Dolu across the southwest.
No, thank you, Igor. Just for reasons of time, and your system is breaking in and out. So thank you. Let me just read this piece, and then I'll come and take closing remarks. It's just a little thing because we're speaking to that space of Burutai being replaced by whatever his name is, the one that just that sadly passed on. His name has just escaped me now. He was there only for a moment. So Burutai being replaced by the last Atahiru, yes. Burutai being replaced by Atahiru, and Atahiru now being replaced by Yahaya. So we're speaking to that space, and this adds to the narrative that we're having regarding that space. So after the end of the Biafran Civil War, consecutive regimes embarked on a reform process intended to address the sensitive issues of inequality and ethnic domination. Key reforms included the adoption of the federal character principle to ensure the equitable representation of different groups in all tiers of government, and the formation of the Federal Character Commission, FCC, to monitor and enforce the implementation. While the FCC has raised hopes on redressing historical imbalance in Nigeria's civil service, this paper finds that little progress has been made over time. The workings of the FCC remained plagued by legal and administrative constraints, chronic underfunding, and political dependence. So the Nigerian constitution does address this imbalance, but then of course, the Nigerian practice, Baba Akure, just by way of a closing remark, can you address that? So the federal character versus the federal practice, because we have to really hammer on that space of this now just Fulani alone to be the chief of army staff in Nigeria. Baba Akure. You're on mute.
I'm sorry, what did you say about that? Because I was...
No, did you hear what I read about the federal character?
No.
No, let me just give it to you again. It's only a short little piece. So just listen to this. It says, after the end of the Biafran Civil War, consecutive regimes embarked on a reform process intended to address the sensitive issues of inequality and ethnic domination. Key reforms included the adoption of the federal character principle to ensure the equitable representation of different groups in all tiers of government, and the formation of the Federal Character Commission, FCC, to monitor and enforce its implementation. So federal character is actually a statute within the Nigerian Constitution, and I'm reflecting this against, of course, what we're talking about, Burutai replaced by Atahiru, replaced by Yahaya. So to that space, Baba Akure, as we seek to round off.
Yeah, the issue is that we know that the Constitution is not working, because I still have to go back to that issue of Constitution. That is why everybody is just doing anyhow. That's why they are behaving anyhow. They can do or not do, and our justice system is not also working. So people are above the law. So like president, he can just do even something that is even beyond his power. He will just do it anyhow without even consulting the same fraud House of Rep and House of Senate, right? Because remember now this issue of appointment, now that they just clarify one time, based on my understanding, he's supposed to send the name to the
house. Yeah,
exactly. Did he do that? And look at it. This the former chief of army staff died not even quite 1 week now, right? And they appointed somebody. This appointment, I heard about it 2 days ago. Anyway, it's not today. They only brought it out today. I've already heard about it 2 days ago. So the issue of character commission is not working. They don't care, because no they cannot hold them responsible for anything. They are above the law. So that is why they are not they push that aside. And this is the reason why Oduku they want to secede from Nigeria before, because of this issue of marginalization, because the position is not well distributed, and the same thing is causing all this agitation up to today. So if this person believes that, okay, well, let me just use this issue of what is going on, agitation and all the problem that is going on. Okay, let me just give it to one Igbo man. Maybe this one will quench a little what is going on. Okay, let me just give it to one Yoruba man. But they don't care, because they believe that he believes that it's above the law. So that is what I will say to that.
Okay, and just closing remarks as we seek to round off. Are you eating? You look like what are you? One of these days, I'll come.
My wife called me on phone, so I was talking to him when you are talking.
Oh no!
So
one of these days, I'll come and visit your house.
I'm going to talk to that issue of Afenifere, because you did mention about Afenifere position in this issue of.
Yes, they are dismissing it. They review. Yes,
exactly. If you watch
exercising futility.
If you look at the video I sent to you, the House of Rep Solomon Bob, is still the same thing. Unless if we are deceiving ourselves, who are those that sat down right now and talking about this issue of constitutional review. Who are those? Do they pick anybody from somebody who's selling groundnut on Oshodi Odota Road? Do they call any mechanic? Do they call palm white tapas?
Falana spoke to that as well, that this is just because he was at that meeting and he was describing it as an elitist gathering.
Exactly. When you call psychologists, psychologist is going to determine how I feel. What happened to the student? What happened to the youth? If you look at the document, the speech of Oni of Ife, then you can align what they say with what this is issue of fake constitutional review. You can see them aligned together. So we are not going anywhere with it. It's
just a nonsense, because if we are trying to rescue the people that we're trying to rescue ourselves from, are the people that are sitting to oversight the constitution that will rescue us from them. So how would they? I mean, it's just like Afenifere said, an exercise in futility.
You come back to the same question I asked evolution the other time. Because everybody says, 1963, 1963, 1963. Do you think all these criminals, all these thieves, will implement that? They will not, because they know that this thing is going to strip them from their power. They are not going to be able to steal money. They are stealing. They are not going to be able to get all these kind of millions of naira they are getting every month. That is even more than the United States president, the richest country in the world. When the senator is making money more than Biden in a month, how can you justify that? Femi Falana did mention that in the constitution, in the preamble, that the constitution, the same fake constitution, also still mention that every child in Nigeria is supposed to go to school. It is must. When you are not working, they're supposed to have employment insurance for you. Like
that was part of Abiola's campaign thing, like a social benefit sort of system. That looks to just to provide like a stipend to somebody that is in between jobs, just to keep them body and soul together. And the country can afford that. We're not saying make them millionaires for being in bed, but
that is what we are saying. And even these guys that are talking about Yoruba nation, like Koiki, these are the things that this guy analyze, and that is what is going on here. We live here too. That is what is going on. When you walk, they take it.
I am trying to see if I can get him to come and join us one of these days. That Koiki boy. Yeah. When
you work, they take your social insurance. I mean, take your pay. They take all the taxes. The part of what when you lose your job, part of it is already there for you. At least for a year. If you can, they will give you a year. If you cannot find a job in that 1 year, they will pay you, which you can use to sustain yourself. I can tell you, it's not that this money is not there, but it's just that people are so just greedy. I can tell you, this money will be there, and some people will just taking it and just put it in their own pocket. Why millions are suffering? I mentioned on this platform the other day, in Canada here, last year, government announced, they said, they even broadcasted it. It's not something they say. Okay, we have about $66 billion that is somewhere that people did not claim. Those who supposed to have their benefit.
I saw that. Or was it you that said it? I heard that anyway. Yeah. It
was me said that. They announced it. It is on paper. It is on radio. We have also amount of money, $66 billion in somewhere that is in CRA account. That is a Canadian Revenue Agency. That we have this money there. It has been there for many years. Nobody come and claim this money. If you know that your check is you have not received so check, please come and collect the money. I said to myself, when I heard that, I shed tears. I said, if it is Nigeria, nobody will say that, because somebody will just take this money away.
Remember, there was a policy that came out a few months ago speaking to that space. They were saying monies that is in dormant accounts, this is in Nigeria, or dividends that has not been claimed by shareholders, that the government will start borrowing it. So let's say, for instance, somebody dies and nobody is aware that they had an account somewhere and the money is just there, or you bought some shares that you've forgotten about, or you died, and the dividends are there and not being collected, that the government of Nigeria will start collecting it. Actually, I have a link that can help people check their dividends just to see what they hold. Maybe in the next session, I'll just post it in the comment section for people to go and check their stock holding. But in Nigeria, they are trying to loot the money. In Canada, they are begging people to come and claim their money.
That is what we find ourselves now. I was discussing with my wife today now, because when we see this, it is a heartache. When you see some country, even Canada, if they have opportunity to take all the youth in Nigeria, they will take them. Meanwhile, the same country that where we have these people, they just useless. Some countries are looking to that age bracket that I mentioned today, between 18 to 40. Some countries are even looking for them to come and build their economy. While we have those resources and we are misusing them, some people just use them as stock. They just use them anyhow. So it is very barbaric. And on the final note, there is no way the review of this constitution, even those experts already said it, that is just a shenanigan. So it's not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere with this constitutional review. It is just to buy time. Even some of
are you sure you are not saying that from your Yoruba nation perspective? Are you sure you don't want it to fail just because you're a Yoruba nationalist?
One man, you see, to me, I said to you, I was one of those who can die for Nigeria before, because even I work for foreign government, right? It came to my mind one day. I said, it is good to go to Nigeria. How could I be working for another country government? Let me just go back home and work for my own government. I went to Toronto. One guy saw me there and said, "Oh, you are so." I said, "Yes." So he was looking at me like, "Oh, seriously?" I said, "I want to go to Nigeria to go and work as a immigration officer." He said, "Hear what the guy said to me. He is from Nigeria, but they posted him to Nigeria High Commission in Toronto." He said, "Hey, mister, you better stay here, because by the time you go to that Nigeria, you see this your gray hair that is white, it will turn to brown." That was what the guy told me that was about 2 years ago. So these are the things. It's not issue of because of agitation. If Nigeria work good, it will be okay. Like the way I used to know it when Awolowo was there, that everybody controlled their own resources. I am not going to deny I benefited from what Awolowo did about education. But these people that are benefited most, those are the people now that they are spoiling the future of generation.
That is the real tragedy. All of these people, everybody in government today in Nigeria benefited from that free education system that Awo introduced. And they are the one now that are making it almost impossible. Goodluck Jonathan was telling us how we used to walk without shoes to go to school, to take advantage of that free education that propelled him to the foremost seat in the country. But he is now the one locking the door of impossibility. If you're in poverty now, you cannot educate yourself out of poverty in Nigeria. And one, because you cannot even afford the education. And two, the education is not even a pathway out of poverty anymore.
Even is it not somebody who can afford to scare me? Because I usually say it, because I listen to people, I talk to people every single day. Either chat with them online, or talk to them physically, or talk to them on phone. Many people cannot afford 2 square meals in a day. Is that person want to sponsor himself in school? You know what some of these girls are doing to get through an education. You don't even want to know. It's just you are getting 18,000 naira per month, and that 18,000 naira cannot even buy a bag of rice. Is that person that want to sponsor himself in school? When your whole salary in a year is not even up to 200,000, and you want to pay for your tuition fee in Adekunle Ajasin University Akungba, and you want to pay 120,000 naira. How can that be justified when your salary is not even up to that amount in a year, and you want to pay a year's school fees for 120,000? These are the people who went to school, free education, and when they graduated from school, they give them vehicle. And the money we are having right now is even triple of what we are having at that time. So what did we do to have all this crazy and thief as our leader? I don't have any. If Nigeria works, it is for us. But nobody can just come all the way from Nasarawa and dictating to me in Akure that they want to take they want to kick me out of my house. Why I cannot go to that the same place and kick them out? So if there is a fairness, equity, they believe that we all belong to the same country, and there will be no bias, there is no bull, there is no problem. They provide job for everybody. You can afford. You see this issue of criminal activity. There is a one program here, youth justice. They said if you want to create crime, do not provide employment. That is why this country they make sure that they provide job for their citizens, particularly young people, because they know that okay, if you don't have job, then the criminal activity, the criminality will escalate. That is what we are expressing in Nigeria today. When you have 33% of the population have no job, that is what they tell us. So automatically it is 50%. So 100 millions of people do not have job. So what do you expect? So it's not issue of Yoruba nation because I'm interested in an issue of Yoruba nation. I'm interested in Yoruba nation because Nigeria is fall apart. That is just the point. It's not that it is what I really want right from day one, because Nigeria fall apart, and I don't see any good thing coming out of this tunnel. That is just the fact.
You're absolutely right, of course, and nobody can deny the passion that we have just heard in your voice. It has failed, the Nigerian thing. We are just talking around, the final rights of what essentially is a failed. The only thing that is holding that country together now is the fear of what it will take to break it up. This is really what is going on, because mentally everybody has left Nigeria, but physically they are still there. Mentally, the Igbos left a long time ago. Mentally, the Yorubas have left. Mentally, the Middle Belt has left. But of course, physically, what it would take to go physically now is the price that people are asking, can we pay? But then they are asking also the price that can we not pay, because the price of not paying is continuing to stay within the structure that is called Nigeria. Did you know that I was reading this was one of the stories that I wanted to do, but I decided not to do. Maybe I'll just do a voice video on it. They are now trying to introduce Sharia in the Southwest. Can you imagine? Sharia in the South? No, yes, this is what they have set up a committee, and it's getting reading. Hold on. Just can you hold on, please? They've set up a committee, and it's actually even getting reading in the House of Rep and Senate. So the important bills that will change the life of everybody is not getting reading. Setting up Christian structures in Sokoto will never get reading, but setting up Sharia in the Southwest, because Yoruba people, they will just take anything. Can they go and try and set up Sharia in Enugu? That beheading, they will do it on them.
That is what we are saying. We have criminal legislators. The other day, it is just misplaced of priority. The other day, they said, oh, they want to pass a law that will equate HND to BS. Why some youth, they are jubilating, they were so happy. Oh, yeah, they want to equivalent HND to BS. Then I said to my wife, I said, look at these people. I think they're still sleeping. What does equivalent of HND has to BS has to do with employment? Is it not the same document you are going to find use to find employment? Where is the employment? Because right now, I said on this program the other day, Nigeria, I can tell you categorically, Nigeria is the most racist country in the world when you're talking about employment. Because when you want to give me job now, you will be telling me now that I'm already my age already is not those that you want in employment. So you are looking for somebody
and your name also does not fit the role. If the job is being supervised by an Igbo person, if your name is not Okechukwu, if it's a Yoruba person, if your name is not Adebayo, and if it's a Fulani, if we are not Mukhtar.
If my name is Musa Ahmed now, then I can, even if I don't even go to school. But at the age, you are looking for age of 18 to 25, that age bracket. Then when you are from 26 above, you cannot get job. That is what they're telling you, because that is reality. But where the location where we live, we see how people, even if you are 75, if you retired, you are getting government pension, you still want job, and if they look at, okay, you can do this job, they will give it to you. They don't care. But Nigeria, even if you have whatever you can call it, even if you want to do it free of charge, they are not going to give you. They are looking for 18 to 25. Who are those 18 to 25? Those who are the same those who are in the same bubble, elite children. Those are 18 to 25 that they are going to give the job to. They are not going to give it to somebody who graduated with first class on the street. But 18 to 25, that is even third, I don't know how the grade of their school in Nigeria, third class or second class lower. Those are the people that they will give the job to, that they are in the same bubble, the same elite.
All right, Baba Akure, save some of that passion for tomorrow. You're on fire today. The whole thing is just coming out now. All that pent-up anger. But if Buhari was in front of you now, you probably slap the old man. Thank you, Baba Akure. Let's hear from you, the villager. Sorry, I caught you. Oh, you are Egba man now, the villager. Okay, the villager or Egba man, what says you?
Oh, concerning two issues here.
Yeah.
The first issue would be addressing the so-called public hearing of the conference. You know, these people, I think Nigerian politicians are probably the luckiest bunch of thieves on the planet. In most countries, they will have been lynched. I mean, like, people just give them opportunities to redeem themselves over and over again. And it seems like these people just don't get it. They don't get the memo. Like, I think it's about gradually they're going to be having their homes burned and people killed before they actually get the message. Because number one, there's no need for any public hearing. There have been numerous, I think we've had about 4 or 3 conferences already, right? If I'm right. We've already had 4. Yes. So the document is already there. You know what people need. Everybody agrees on most of the documents, right? You just need to
the 2014 one was the most comprehensive. If they have, hold on, if they have 1 million conferences, they will never attain the depth of that 2014 conference. Over 492 people attended, representing the broad spectrum of the Nigerian space. Every ethnic nationality was represented. Every religious leaning was represented. Every professional organization was represented, and everybody was represented. So they cannot get anything beyond that 2014 confab. But carry on. Exercise in futility, as Afenifere said.
So basically, there's no point in doing that. It's the adoption of that policy that is the problem. And like Akweman said earlier, it's like if they pass those bills, especially, you have to know the game here. I was looking at the numbers before I came up to your studios tonight. About 54% of people that are currently in the Senate right now, this is their first time in the Senate. So you have to look at it. You know, you have to look at it. If they pass anything remotely close to what we want, that means that they probably will not come. There won't be any second term. I mean, if they pass, like let's say they adopt the 1963 Constitution, that means nobody's coming back. There will be no Senate up there anymore. So they're not going to vote for anything that is not going to favor them. So even if you pass, because my own, as a one Nigerian advocate, I've always been, the only thing that I did not like that Goodluck did was it should have made that conference sovereign, that 2014, meaning that anything passed in that conference
is binding.
It's binding. We cannot tweak it. That was the mistake he made. He was still waiting for the Senate and House to now pass it. That was the mistake.
I think he was on the assumption that it was going to be returned. You know, so he was quite confident that he will get. So carry on.
Yes.
Because Goodluck Jonathan, he was also pushing for the thing that a president should not serve more than one term, but 6 years. So 6 years will be sufficient enough for you to do anything that you want to do. So he had a lot of far-reaching stuff that I wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he had that too, but why, if that had applied to him, that means he will have spent 10 years, because that would have been his last term. So
I hope that he would have been gracious enough not to let it start from him the next one. Yeah.
Come on, coming from the OBJ tree, you know what that means. Nobody's gonna. Everybody wants to stay there for as long as possible. But on a bigger scale, I think, like Showore will always say, Showore will say this years ago. He said, everybody has mentally seceded from Nigeria. Like everybody has mentally, we are all gone. We're just in body only, but nobody is mentally in Nigeria anymore. But I think that is becoming more glaring, and I think that the elite I think they are in the denial stage right now. They've not reached the anger. I think they're starting to get it a little bit. So I think just 6 months. I think I'll give you 6 more months. 6 more months to a year. Then you start hearing. You know what? I will not be shocked if Tinubu comes out for the Republic in a year. I will not be surprised.
You know what will happen? Tinubu will not get that ticket. But then we will get Oduduwa Republic. So the only way that we will really get that Oduduwa Republic is if Tinubu does not get that ticket.
Okay, then it goes into anger and tirade.
Yes.
But he's also risking jail time, because that William Van, that was a big mistake of him to
forget jail time. You know they have documents on him, he has documents on them. These people have documents on each other. The only thing is if they take him out, that's the only thing.
Okay, so one man, there's a video, it's not a video, there's an audio circulating around, because I was privy to some information from my friends from, the intel world somewhere. And they talked about how even the British government has warned the Fulani that the days of we backing you up to keep, even the British government, they are telling the Fulani that we can no longer hold this thing for you anymore. Even they have backed up, like, you are on your own. So, and there's some kind of alliance with the Iraqi and Iran government, because they are now supplying these Fulanis all those weapons. Somebody posted a link about talking about how
that is not true. Should I tell you why that is not true? Iraq does not really have the weapon. They are in the throes of
Iran
themselves.
Iran.
No. Iran. Hold on. Iran is anti the Fulanis. The Irans, they are Shiites, and the Fulanis, they are Sunnis. Hell will burn before Iran sells weapons.
Okay, I think, that was what kind of confused me about that. I know that there are foreign influences on Nigeria, but even the foreign ones, based on what I've seen, even they are warning the Fulani, like, guys, just find a way to ease the breakup. because at this point, the whole South. But this is the ticker. The Middle Belt, they surprised me, sir. They are even more passionate about it than we are. Maybe because we don't cover them enough online. People think that they're not that passionate about leaving the union. But because they are the ones suffering this thing the most. We in the Southwest, for the most part, we've been shielded relatively from this onslaught. So they've been the one that have suffered this the most. And like I keep saying before, someone that believes in Nigeria, but I'm leaning towards you and Korea man, and I think that we should have a sit down, and it should not be all this, this cultural problem we have in Yoruba land. These so-called, the elders. It always have to be the elders. When 2/3 of your population is the youth, and you are having conferences, and they're not.
Yeah, but you can't put youth in type of in. They're too wild. They're too wild in the head. They be smoking igbo in the conference hall and whatnot.
No. Woman, there are youths and there are youths.
Most Nigerian youths are Mugbo now. We saw them in NSAS when they were just smoking igbo.
You know that the Nigerian youth, unfortunately,
even we see them on this our channel smoking igbo. All Nigerian youths are igbo smokers.
One man, listen to me. This is what I'm saying. The youth age bracket in Nigeria is relative. So people like Showore will still call themselves youth, even though they are over 50. That's my point. But in Nigeria, you only see people over 70 and 75 discussing national issue. At least maybe over 45 or close to 50. Somebody that is kind of down that age line discussing issues, not just our elders, no, that thing annoys me when I see that every time. So I think we need to sit down and peacefully find a way to mutually to break this off, and everybody goes down with, because at this point,
but that's not going to happen though. Why do people keep saying that when they know full well that is not going to happen?
Yeah, I'm hoping because you know the other side is not going to be it's going to be disaster. The inevitable is just I know it's going to happen, but I'm hoping that does not happen. That's the point. I know it's going to break down to something terrible, but I'm hoping that we can find a way. But the North is not going to play ball.
It'll be very sad if the southern region, especially Yoruba space, if we just roll over and we just let these people overrun us. Because Yoruba people, they don't like too much trouble, so they'll just continue to take it. But it'll be very sad when if suddenly they insist that the Yorubas, all their governors, like they do with the Hausas now, all the governors in Yoruba land suddenly are like Mukhtar and Ladi, because I mean, I don't know, it's a crazy thing we're going through in that country.
Yeah, because even how they come out and they talk tough initially, and next thing you know, they're issuing press statements about, oh, I did not actually say that. It's not like that. That's why I don't really believe in all this tough talk. Oh, we ban open grazing. Next day, you still have cows going up and down the place, like just talking and without backing it up. That's what worries me about the South. And the South, with their so-called fight for presidency, they can just induce few governors. You see how they are jumping ship now, jumping camps from PDP to APC.
Yeah, the last party though, that's not, I mean, we'll see what that means in actual terms. If they start to break ranks, then which they will do, then you start to know who the traitors are.
Okay.
But go on.
I'm saying, like, one man compare the newly formed Southern Governors Forum to the North. You and I know those people up north, they will still hold ranks better than the South. You know that. Give this thing in the South 1 more year close to election, if the country holds, and you start to see the crack. You start to see the crack. You just close to you start to see the crack. So that's my worry. But thank you for taking my call.
All right, thank you, Egbaman. A real pleasure. So let's take just a final words from Ola, then we'll hear from Prof, who has decided to join us. So Ola, quickly to you.
I don't have much to say than to support what the last caller actually mentioned. So to me, I prefer the country to take the current constitution down and pick on another one. So because we have different issues we are mixing up together. We are mixing both political and economic issues together. So if we tear this current constitution down, I believe there's going to be like economic liberation. That people, there is, I think when everybody is able to mount his own territory properly, so farmer will no longer be afraid of someone bringing cattle to overrun their farmland. So the Southwest can defend themselves, the South can defend themselves, and whosoever want to have a cattle to be moving around in their own territory, good luck to them, they can do that. Then the issue of bringing people, like, for example, now the Southwest, now not only Southwest, the South, the South generally, they've been victim of this quota system. I will give an example. Look at something like we have MTN today, all those telecommunication, deregulation, and all those stuff. This normally, if not because of the mistake, let me call it the mistake of IBB, when deregulated communication sector and telecommunication sector, probably there wouldn't have been something for Obasanjo to send bill on and to liberate the telecommunication sector. But if you look at the telecommunication sector today, we have different people, those people that are qualified working there. If we still have this type of government we have today with this constitution, it simply means that we still have NITEL, and someone will still prefer to bring people from the north, from Fulani, to occupy the place. It doesn't matter if they are qualified or not. I once asked people that, okay, look at those of us overseas, for example, how many Hausa Fulani have you come across struggling, trying to work legitimately like we do here? All they focus on is to grab the power and stay there. As long as that mentality is still there and we keep this type of constitution, it's going to be difficult for Nigeria to move forward. We have to tear that constitution down and embrace democratic constitution.
All right. Thank you, Ola. Thank you very much. Prof, are you there, Prof? Prof, the latecomer.
You can call me latecomer. Isn't it when you're available?
How are you?
I'm fine. Even though I didn't look at the team, but let me pick up from where Ola what he said. We're in a nation that I don't know. The thing in this nation is that tearing down the constitution is good, but there's one thing I've come to find out. We have a set of people in this nation that compose a crooked constitution, and them themselves are crooks. When I mean they're crooks is that even that constitution that was crookedly composed, they are not even ready to obey it. They're not ready to obey it. These are a set of individuals that prefer going through the shortcuts to get their own wealth. They simply want to grab power. And there's a saying that says, when you don't, how is it? Okay, there's a saying, okay, simple. You only know the value of something when you lose it. And
yes.
you even know the value of that thing much more when you work hard for it. So these people, they didn't work hard for their seat of power. They didn't work hard for it. And I keep saying it. I heard what Isaac said. The nations will just disintegrate. It's just a pity. This, you see this, I prefer calling them Fulani, because what these individuals did, they simply hid behind the houses and came in. Now, do you hear them calling outside again? It's Fulani. It's Fulani. And, these people, as far as I'm concerned, okay, I remember when I took common entrance. Federal common entrance. Then, that year, they made the overall score at 600. I'm from Anambra State. Our cutoff mark for males, I think then was 536. I remember Bendel State then was 548. I had a score of 561. Imagine, that's a great score. But then you see people in the north with 100.
Are you trying to show off, Prof?
I'm not trying to show off. Sorry, it can be show off, but I'm not trying to. But what I'm trying to say is that that happened then, and it's still happening. And these guys will still come into the same labor market, and the worst of all, they will still grab the juicy offices out of. They won't. It's not of merit. So I know, as I keep saying it. Let the nation just.
Did you hear the Remi Tinubu thing where she was fighting people at the conference?
I heard that. I didn't go to the details, but I didn't bother much more to go to the details. Do you know why? How can a woman of such caliber in a public arrangement?
Your future first lady.
Hey, God forbid bad thing. You. In a public setting is where
do
you
know the irony? As she was weighing into this woman, she was calling her a thug. So she, of course, the Iyaloja, the head of the Iyaloja of the Market Square behavior in Marriott Hotel. This is what she's showing us.
You see, it's a very bad, and that is the examples most of our leaders are setting for the generation. The generation upcoming, when they look at it, they say this a woman of will I call it, her name makes rings a bell in the nation, and they emulate her. It's a very bad thing, it's too bad. And these people don't have shame. They just don't have, most of them don't have shame in these political offices they're holding. So
and Prof, they have named the new chief of army staff, no surprise, Farouk Yahaya.
What does that name sound? It sounds like Fulani. When I hear that name, it sounds Islamic. First of all,
no surprise. Farouk Yahaya is Farouk Yahaya from Enugu State or Ekiti?
Okay, yeah. We all know where the name comes from. We all know
something, but no central. So this is the narrative, and of course the other story. This one is just normal. $370 million Abacha loot has been sat upon by Abubakar Malami. So he's just sweeping up all the dollars in the country. The supposed Attorney General of the Federation. So that nothing changes.
I just wish for this change to come is going to be radical. This change can only come by one, the nation integrates, or that's a real rugged revolution. Everybody should be ready to sacrifice. Put their lives on the line.
We always land up on that thing, almost every single day people talk of that, that this thing has to be taken forcefully, because the way it is, it cannot continue to be the way it will be, and the way it will be is not something that you are going to discuss or get by having a sit down, and it's not going to be done over cake and tea, certainly not.
No, it will not be done. It's just so sad when I look at the case of our nation, Nigeria. It just pains me. The only thing, I just look at it and remember what the Bible says: nations will be judged. Because what our nation has done to the masses, it is too bad. I just don't know. No sympathy. Nothing. You graduate people, you have refineries, you make sure they don't work, you carry the crude oil, you refine outside the country, you build a refinery outside the country, pocket that money, bring it back, sell to the people. Hey, these people in this
it's like they read the textbooks upside down. So rather than read how to do it, they read how not to do it, and then went on to do it that way. This is the most backward of set. It is a joke. But then, of course, we gather tomorrow again, hopefully with you, Prof, and we discuss some more. Let me see if I can get Ego to have the last word, because he's been with us all the way through. Ego, are you still there? Ego? Oh. I can hear something in the background. So let's give Ego a minute. Oh, Ego, are you there?
I am here. I am here if you want.
Yes, we couldn't get you. Oh, it's gone. I didn't take you off, Ego. You took yourself off. So that's been the story with Ego. We tried to hear from him, but we couldn't really get him to fully engage. But that has been the session. Senator Remi Tinubu dishing out slaps in Marriott hotels, as she calls the person that she's slapping a thug. The irony, of course, lost on her. Malami continues, 370 million Abacha loot repatriated has been covered up by Malami. Let me actually post this story in the comment section so you guys actually see. And by the way, please do make sure that you are subscribed, because you should really be subscribed if you visit regularly. Igor, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I was trying to fix it up.
No, I was just giving you the final word, because you've not really been able to say much with your system.
Please, because of my network. Allow me to speak. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes, carry on. So the final word is yours.
Yeah, the issue we must see situations. There are situations we have to take seriously. We must, as a people from the South, we must be standing together as one. In these people will feel very threatened to balance the equation in this country. This is the only way. The South must begin to grip themselves together. Let it be a voice of the South. The voice of the South must be heard every corner and every minute. That's the only way, because you cannot be in a country where the resources are being exploited from the South and taking it abroad to be owned by the Fulanis. All these things that they are doing to this country, I don't know where the Southerners are seated in this case. I don't know why they are looking at the Northerners doing what they want, and they call themselves leaders without opposing it. If it is because they use that irony of dividing these people and so that they can have time to, the South should at this junction reject any manner of division within themselves and come together as a people, like I always say. The Southern youth, the Southern elders, the Southern forum, the Southern governors, the Southern senators, the Southern traditional rulers, all these people, they should be coming out from time to time to be making their position known in this country. We cannot be looking at these people destroying the entire workforce of this country. Look at Alaja Steel. Is destroyed. Look at the one in Kogi. There is a steel in Warri and Kogi. These two places are closed down. Look at the flour mills. The mills
are you talking about Ajaokuta?
Are you talking Ajaokuta? Yeah, Ajaokuta is closed down. Alaja is closed down. What is going on? This look at the seaport in Delta. They are all closed down. All these are things that will create job for this country. The Southerners are there. They are keeping quiet, and they know that these things are affecting them, making them growing up thugs at the end of the day, simply because there are no job in the whole of the South. Where are the jobs? Where have they gone? All these jobs and all these things that have been elusive in the eyes of people right now is like a deliberate act by these northern leaders to crumble the economies of the South indirectly. And it's what they've been succeeded in doing for the last how many years. It's high time the South and the entire South begin to come together and be speaking in one voice, so that we can regain all our refinery will come back to work. Our company that has left the South will all come back to work. The Southerners should stand and stop some illegal character misbehaviors by this northern elite who has seized the power from the owners of the people, seize their resources and be turning the resources into theirs, turning it into their personal wealth, turning it into their proper personal property. The continuing silence of this South is a threat to the existence of the Southern region. We must begin to tell our leaders them today that they must come forward and speak, because everybody is getting aware of what is going on around the world, what is going on in the political space, what is going on in Nigeria today. Everybody has become aware. It is high time the South will come together. This is my case that I'm making. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Ego. Yes, you were dipping in and out, but I was determined for you to have your say. So that is Ego. I cannot really add much more to what he has already said in terms of the goings on within the Nigerian space. But what I will add on is first, really that call again that if you are watching the sessions and you watch the sessions regularly, then please make sure that you are subscribed, because this does affect how YouTube recommends the platform. So because we need to get more people in to come and join in this conversation, because the conversations are so interesting and the opinions so diverse, and there's still so many voices missing from this conversation. Voices from the North are missing from this conversation. Female voices, we hear some, but we don't hear sufficient enough. And more robust perspectives are needed as well, because a lot of the perspectives that we hear, we already know what those perspectives are, but then of course we've not still captured all of the perspectives that are within the Nigerian space. So we need to gather as much points of views as we can, and the only way of doing that is, one, by you sharing the links to the sessions so that your friends and families can come and join in and share their views, and more especially liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. So that is what you can do by way of supporting the channel. And the other thing you can do, if you have any thoughts on the direction of the channel that you want to bring to my attention, some have been contacting me on Instagram. So I'm going to put my Instagram details here. It's just if you have any thoughts of the direction of the channel, either what you'd like to see more of, or how you'd like to see it presented, etc., then please share them with me on Instagram. So I just say contact me on Instagram here. So don't go on my Instagram expecting to see photos and whatnot. It's not really, it's just a tool of communication. I barely have anything there. So it's just really a tool of communication. So that's my Instagram thing, and that has been the session. So I'll leave it here. Carry the conversation within the comment section, but here I say peace.